Okay, so you know how like pretty much everyone at some point thinks about finding like a real connection, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe even like the one.
Right.
And it's wild how many different ways people try to make that happen, right?
Absolutely.
Some are all about those dating apps.
Uh-huh.
Others are getting set up through friends.
Hmm.
But then there's this whole other world, like the law of attraction or
Yeah.
going to psychic readings.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about like what actually works, you know?
It really shows how people try to figure out something that's so personal
Yeah.
and like often totally unpredictable.
Right.
These kind of metaphysical approaches.
Yeah.
It's like they want to be in control,
Yeah.
when it comes to love, because it can feel so out of reach.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So in this deep dive, we're going to unpack two of these really interesting ways people approach finding love.
Mm.
The law of attraction and psychic readings.
Okay.
We found some really cool stuff that looks at both of them,
Yeah.
but it also brings up this idea of soulmate drawings, like as a bridge between the two.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like they're trying to find common ground between two ways of thinking that seem totally different.
Right.
You have the law of attraction, all about inner power,
Yeah.
and then psychic readings, where you're looking for answers from somewhere else.
Totally.
And soulmate drawings, it's like they're trying to see if those two things can work together.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're going to do today.
So cool.
We really want to get to the heart of each of these things, the law of attraction and psychic readings, to understand what they offer,
Mm-hmm.
where they might fall short,
Mm.
and then dig deep into how soulmate drawings fit into all of this.
Makes sense.
And we're doing all of this for you, the listener,
Of course.
hopefully shining some light if you're thinking about any of this stuff as you're trying to find love.
Right.
So, okay, let's start with the law of attraction.
All right.
Like, what's the basic idea behind it?
So basically, the law of attraction says like attracts like. When it comes to love, it means that the thoughts and feelings that are like always in your head,
Yeah.
they can actually shape what happens to you.
Interesting.
Like if you're always thinking positive thoughts and feeling love,
Uh-huh.
it's like you're sending out this energy that will bring a loving partner into your life.
So it's not just that your inner world reflects what happens outside,
Right.
but it's like your inner world is making things happen out there.
Yeah, exactly.
And the article we're looking at talks about some key things people do to make this happen right.
Mhm.
Like really picturing that perfect relationship in your mind.
Yeah, that's called visualization.
Okay.
It's a big part of it where you make these clear mental pictures of the relationship you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like really imagine the qualities of your ideal partner, the
Mm-hmm.
things you do together, and actually feel the good things about that connection.
So it's not just thinking about it, it's like feeling it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and then there's affirmations, right?
Yes.
Which I feel like are pretty well known.
Yeah, a lot of people have heard of them.
Yeah.
With affirmations, you say positive things about love over and over, like,
Mm-hmm.
I deserve love and connection, or
Right.
I'm attracting a loving and supportive partner right now.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to, like, make those beliefs part of you without even thinking about it.
Interesting. So it's not just what you're thinking, but also how you're feeling.
Right.
That's a big part of it too.
Yeah, they call it emotional alignment.
Okay.
It means you have to actually feel what it's like to be in a loving relationship already.
Okay.
Like feel joy, gratitude, warmth, even love itself.
Interesting.
The idea is that by matching those feelings,
Uh-huh.
you're more open to attracting a partner who's on that same level energetically.
So it's like you're putting out the vibe that you want to receive.
Exactly. Think of it like the energy of your thoughts and feelings has a certain frequency.
Okay.
When your emotions are mostly positive, it's like you're sending out a signal that attracts similar positive energy,
Uh-huh.
including a loving partner.
Makes sense. So you have to actually feel the reality you want. It's
Exactly.
not just think about it.
Right.
And then the last piece seems to be about clearing out the negative stuff in your mind.
Yeah.
Those limiting beliefs that might be holding you back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those are the negative thought patterns you might have about yourself.
Okay.
Or about even finding love. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be alone forever,
Right.
or all the good ones are taken.
Mm-hmm.
It's really important to figure out what those deep beliefs are
Mm-hmm.
and actually work on letting them go,
Yeah.
so you can be open to attracting a good and fulfilling relationship.
Okay. So the law of attraction, it's all about being in control.
Yeah.
Taking charge of your thoughts and feelings to make things happen in your love life.
Right.
But the article also talks about a downside to focusing so much on yourself, right?
Yeah, and it's really important to think about this.
Okay.
Because the law of attraction is so focused on you being in control.
Uh-huh.
When you don't get what you want, It can make you blame yourself
Oh.
and even feel ashamed.
Right.
People might start thinking, I must not be visualizing the right way, or my vibes aren't high enough.
Yeah.
And that's actually the opposite of what they're trying to do, you know?
It kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, you have to remember that life is unpredictable.
Right.
And stuff happens that's out of your control, especially with relationships.
Totally.
It can be really harsh on yourself if you think it's all your fault when things don't work out.
Yeah, and that's actually going to stop you from feeling those positive emotions you're working so hard to have.
Exactly.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's switch gears and talk about psychic readings for love.
Okay.
It seems so different.
It is.
Like you're looking outside yourself for answers and guidance instead of focusing on what's going on inside, like with the law of attraction.
Right.
So with psychic readings, you're usually going to someone who says they have these intuitive or psychic abilities, and they're going to give you insights and guidance. And there's so many different ways they do this, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The article mentions a bunch of examples that people might come across.
Like what?
Well, tarot cards are really common.
Oh, yeah.
Where they use these symbolic pictures to try and understand your relationship patterns right now or what might happen in the future.
Yeah.
And the energies surrounding your love life.
Interesting.
Then there's mediumship, where the psychic says they can connect with spirit guides
Wow.
or even people who have passed away
Okay.
to give you insights and advice about love.
That's wild.
And then aura readings, which
Yeah.
always sounds so cool.
I know, right?
It's like looking at someone's energy fingerprint.
Yeah, it's like the psychic can see and understand the energy field around a person. And they believe that the colors and patterns in that field can tell you about someone's emotional state,
Right.
their compatibility with others, or what's happening in their relationships right now.
Fascinating. And lastly, the article mentions looking into past life connections. Oh, wow.
Where the psychic digs into stuff from your past lives.
Yeah.
That might be messing with your relationships now,
Interesting.
or making you attracted to certain people.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole range of practices.
Totally.
But they're all about getting some kind of validation or guidance from outside yourself
Yeah.
in this crazy journey of finding love.
Right.
So what's the main appeal of this for people?
I think a lot of people, it makes them feel validated, especially when they're going through all the ups and downs of trying to find a partner.
Yeah, it can be so emotionally draining.
Exactly.
So it must be nice to have someone say, hey, your feelings are right.
Yeah.
Or have you thought about it this way? Like giving you a new perspective.
Exactly.
Psychic readings can also give people hope and direction
Yeah.
when things feel stuck or uncertain in their love life.
Absolutely.
But just like the law of attraction, the article points out a potential problem with relying too much on psychic readings. Right. You might start depending too much on someone else's advice
Yeah.
instead of developing your own intuition and judgment
Totally.
when it comes to relationships.
Like people might start making all their decisions based on what a psychic tells them,
Yeah.
which could mean they're not making choices that are actually good for them.
Exactly.
And it also raises an important question for our listeners.
What's that?
How can you tell if the guidance you're getting is actually good or not?
That's so true.
That's something to really think about if you're going down this road.
Yeah, definitely.
So we've got these two very different approaches to finding love. Let's try to compare them
Okay.
and highlight their strengths and weaknesses,
That is good.
like the article does. So starting with the law of attraction, what would you say are some of its biggest advantages when it comes to love?
Well, like we talked about, it really pushes you to think positively
Yeah.
and reflect on yourself,
Right.
which are good things to do in any area of life,
Yeah.
including relationships. It also helps you grow as a person as you work on getting rid of those limiting beliefs.
Right.
And a big thing is that it's active. You're not just sitting around waiting for love to appear.
Yeah.
You're actually doing things to change your mindset.
That makes sense.
And that feeling of being in control can make you more confident in yourself.
Totally. Those all sound like good things.
Yeah.
Even if the law of attraction doesn't magically make a partner appear overnight.
Right.
But where might it fall short?
Well, one thing is that it might oversimplify relationships.
How so?
It's complicated, you know.
Yeah.
Compatibility and real connection
Yeah.
involve way more than just your thoughts and feelings.
Okay.
Things like shared values, goals in life, and just plain chemistry.
Right.
It can also make people expect too much.
Like what?
Like thinking that just being positive will bring you the perfect partner without any effort in the real world. Or being willing to deal with the fact that people are messy.
That's true.
And it often doesn't give you specific advice on how to actually meet people
Okay.
and build relationships.
Yeah.
Also, being so focused on being positive all the time can sometimes lead to what they call toxic positivity.
What's that?
It's when you push down or ignore negative emotions or real problems
Okay.
instead of dealing with them.
Right.
But it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
I mean, can thinking positively really solve problems like having different values or communication styles?
That's a good point.
Right.
You can't just wish your way into a great relationship.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's look at psychic readings now.
Okay.
What are some of their strengths when it comes to finding love?
One big one is that you might get insights and guidance that you wouldn't have thought of yourself.
Okay.
Like a reading might show you patterns in your relationship choices
Interesting.
or point out things that could get in your way.
Mm-hmm.
It can also make you feel like your gut feelings about someone or a situation are right
Yeah.
by confirming them. And when you're feeling lost in your love life, a reading can give you comfort and make you feel like you have some direction or understanding.
Oh, okay.
And some readings might tap into things that are affecting your love life that you can't see.
And what about the downsides or limitations of psychic readings?
Well, one of the biggest is that psychics aren't all the same.
Right.
They have different skills, ethics, and just overall quality.
Yeah.
Not all of them are honest or accurate.
It's true.
And as we talked about before, there's the risk of becoming too dependent on what they say,
Right.
which can stop you from growing and making your own decisions in relationships.
Makes sense.
Readings can also make you more passive,
What do you mean?
like waiting for things that were predicted to happen
Uh-huh.
instead of actually doing something to make them happen.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, how you interpret a psychic reading is pretty subjective,
Right.
which means different psychics could say totally different things about the same situation.
Wow. So it's really up to you to decide what makes sense for you.
Yeah. So the law of attraction and psychic readings both have good things and bad things.
Definitely.
And this is where the article brings in this super interesting idea of soulmate drawings,
Oh, yeah. Tell me more.
like a possible bridge between these two seemingly opposite approaches.
Interesting.
So soulmate drawings are presented as this middle ground.
Okay.
They try to combine parts of psychic readings and the law of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And they might even have some psychological benefits.
Cool.
The main idea is that an artist who says they have psychic abilities creates a picture of your future partner,
Whoa.
like a drawing.
So you get a picture of your potential soulmate.
Yeah, basically.
That's wild. What's the process like?
So the article highlights a few key things.
Okay.
First, there's the psychic part.
Mm-hmm.
The artist says they can channel intuitive impressions or visions about your future partner.
Wow.
And then the drawing itself becomes a tool for manifestation, which is a big part of the law of attraction.
Because it gives you something concrete to focus on.
Right.
And third, just having a physical picture can help you psychologically
Also.
by helping you figure out what you want
Yeah.
and stay focused on the kind of partner you're looking for.
Makes sense. So how do these soulmate drawings actually connect the law of attraction and psychic readings?
Well, with the law of attraction, the drawing takes visualizing to a whole new level.
Okay.
Instead of just a quick picture in your mind, you have this real visual representation to focus your thoughts and intentions on.
Yeah.
And that can make visualizing way more powerful and consistent.
I can see that.
Then by seeing the drawing regularly, it might help align what you consciously think you want in a partner with your subconscious expectations and beliefs.
Interesting.
So it's like it makes your intentions more real by giving them a visual anchor.
That's cool. And how does it tie into psychic readings?
Well, it still has that element of getting insight from somewhere else. Because the artist is saying they're getting information about your future partner from somewhere else.
Yeah.
But then it gives you a tool to actively try to attract that person.
Okay.
Instead of just passively waiting for a prediction to come true.
I see.
And even just thinking about getting a soulmate drawing can make you think more deeply about what qualities are really important to you in a partner, which helps you get even clearer about what you want.
So it's a more proactive way of using external guidance.
Exactly.
Instead of just hearing what a psychic has to say and leaving it at that.
Right. The article also talks about psychology and how it plays into all of this.
Okay.
The law of attraction, psychic readings, and even soulmate drawings.
What's the psychology angle?
Well, there are some really interesting psychological things happening.
Like what?
One is selective attention.
Mm.
When you have a clear picture in your mind of what you're looking for in a partner, whether it's from visualizing a psychic's description or a soulmate drawing, you naturally start noticing people around you who fit that profile.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when you buy a new car.
And you see it everywhere.
Exactly. You're just more aware of it.
Makes sense.
And then there's confirmation bias.
Yeah.
If you really believe you're going to meet someone with certain qualities, you might unconsciously interpret things they do or say, even if it's not super clear, as proof that they have those qualities.
Interesting.
And your behavior can change too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you're feeling positive and hopeful about finding love, maybe because of these practices, you might subconsciously act in ways that make you seem more approachable, open and engaging to potential partners.
Oh, makes sense.
And of course, we can't forget about the placebo effect.
Right.
Just believing that these methods will work for you can reduce anxiety, increase your hope and optimism, and make you more open to new connections.
That's powerful.
It is. It's amazing how much our beliefs can shape our experiences.
It really is.
It's kind of like when you're convinced a certain medicine will help your cold.
Yeah.
And you actually start feeling better.
Exactly.
So even if there isn't a direct connection to something mystical, the power of believing can really affect how you think and act in the real world.
That's a really good point.
So with all of this in mind, what are some practical tips for our listeners who are trying to find love? How can they find their own path?
The article suggests that the best way is to combine elements from different practices.
Oh, okay.
But first, you have to really reflect on yourself.
Yeah.
Like, take the time to understand your values, your needs in a relationship, and what you truly want in a partner.
That's important.
Then no matter what methods you choose to try,
Yeah.
it's always good to cultivate positive thoughts about love.
Right.
It's also wise to be open to guidance from different sources.
Like what?
Like trusted friends, helpful books, or even a psychic reading, if that feels right for you. But the key is to not become totally dependent on that advice.
Makes sense.
And maybe most importantly, you got to balance any inner work or spiritual practices with actually taking steps in the real world.
Like what?
You still need to put yourself out there, be open to meeting new people, and have an active social life.
So it's not enough to just think it into existence or wait for a prediction to happen?
Exactly.
You have to actually make an effort and engage with the world.
Yes. It's a back and forth between how you feel inside and what you do out there.
Okay. As we wrap up this deep dive, let's recap what we've talked about.
Okay.
Neither the law of attraction nor psychic readings guarantee you'll find love.
Right.
And how well they work really depends on the person. And soulmate drawings offer this interesting mix.
Yeah.
Potentially combining the visualization power of the law of attraction with that outside perspective you get from a psychic.
Interesting.
So the main takeaway is that finding a real connection often involves a combination of things. You have to work on yourself, understand who you are, and cultivate a positive and open mindset.
Right.
You have to be willing to seek guidance if it feels right.
Yeah.
And most importantly, you got to actually take steps to connect with people in the real world. So here's a final thought for you, our listener.
Okay.
How are you balancing your inner beliefs with your outward actions in your search for connection? Are you more focused on manifesting or seeking guidance?
Interesting.
And is that balance working for you the way you want it to?
Yeah.
Because as great as it is to find a partner that's just the start of the journey of building a strong and meaningful relationship,
It's true.
it's a journey that takes time and effort,
For sure.
but it can be so rewarding.
Absolutely.
And I think it's worth it.
Me too.
Okay, that's it for this deep dive. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone.
Catch you next time.